Yes, I do.
All right, guys, old school. I had another one for you. I was just kind of curious. I know a lot of you guys been on a lot of cruises out there and all that good stuff. How many of y'all had the opportunity of cruising through a hurricane or the remnants of a hurricane, the high waters, the ship tilting to the right or the left, the wave action? Old school's been through a couple. Yeah, it wasn't no fun either. I see on here a lot of people complain about, wow, we had to go to a different port because a hurricane was out there in the Atlantic or the Pacific or the Gulf of Mexico or, yeah, and I'm still calling it the Gulf of Mexico. So don't y'all get in the tizzy behind that. But anyhow, how did you fare when you're up on a Lido deck and start seeing the water in the pool sloshing from side to side? I remember my first so-called post-hurricane was on a Royal Caribbean cruise. And I found out if you're in high weather like that, the best thing you can do is go up on the Lido deck to where you can see sky. And the worst thing you could do is to stay in your cabin if you don't have even if you have a balcony, it's still kind of bad. That's where the motion sickness catches up with you. But in these clips I'm about to show you, it's going to show you how devastating being in a hurricane or bad weather, doesn't necessarily have to be a hurricane, can be. I'm not going to talk you to death. I'm going to let you see for yourself. And by the way, you guys, I don't know why I'm laughing, but you guys stay blessed out there.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
You shouldn't have stayed in there. Now, I'm not sure who told me to be in the middle of the ocean during a hurricane, but honey, I live my best life on the one and only Carnival Sunrise with my cousin because we only get one life to live, honey. You hear me? And here's my key takeaways. Make sure you pop bottles because life is not promised. And remember that cruise ships can change paths at any given moment. Also, remember to eat good, take your motion sickness medication, and pack extra clothes because you might just be on board for a few more days. And take advantage of all the activities and sleep. Okay? You're welcome.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
Cruise news and information. Imagine planning a cruise a year out to go to a nice island and then to find out the day before your cruise that you might have to pack warm clothes because you're going to a cold destination. Let's talk ship. Guests who are soon to board Carnival Venezia, and I mean soon as in tomorrow, October 1st of 2025, they received a letter from Carnival saying that they might very well have to pack warm clothes and sail up north due to 2 hurricanes in the mid-Atlantic area that might cause some ruckus. Now, by the time they reach, I believe it's Bermuda, the storms would have passed by that time. But what they are anticipating is rough seas, like the aftermath. And I'm talking about so rough that it might be an uncomfortable ride for a lot of people, meaning that there might be some damage done. And we all know that the cruise lines do their best to have safety as a #1 priority. So as Carnival's backup plan, they are considering sailing up to Canada, which is why they advise them to rearrange their suitcases and pack warm clothes, as very well with their tank tops and camis and short shorts and things of that nature. Now, I can see and understand why you were planning for the Caribbean, nice warm island, and then you get this news. It's a bummer, but you have to understand you submitted your payment, and by doing that, you agreed to the terms and conditions. Meaning, at the cruise line's discretion, whether it's a month before, a week before, a day before, the day of, or during the sailing, at the cruise line's discretion, they can change the itinerary because it's in the terms and conditions. That's right, you can't be mad at the cruise line. Guess what, buddy? You agreed to their rules. So if you are a first-time cruiser that you're setting sail tomorrow on the Venezia out of New York, and you happen to see this, by the way, if you are seeing this, like and share this so if anyone is getting on that sailing that they can see this and be prepared, just in case they didn't check their emails. Well, if you just watched this video and you didn't like this information, guess what?
We got 2 words for ya.
Hurricane season!
Dude!
So crazy.
It's...
Yeah.
Ah! Oh my gosh, no!
It's crazy, right?
Oh.
You can come in if you want to look.
Being forced to change course as Imelda makes its presence known along that Florida coastline. Carnival Cruises released a statement reporting that at least 9 of its ships have been affected, which means extra days at sea or alternative ports. Other companies have followed suit to protect passengers as well. Here to break it down with me is a cruise guy, Stuart Chiron. Stuart, thanks so much for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. Got your shirt on. I was hoping you would. So tell me about it. This is when we're talking about the waves are going to be jacked. What are you supposed to do if you had a cruise scheduled for this week?
Well, I mean, you're on the cruise, or if you're planning for other cruises, obviously it's going to inconvenience the people. There's some possible departures, but right now, ships that were supposed to go to the Eastern Caribbean were already sent to the Western, and then you had ships from the Northeast that were supposed to go down to Florida and the Bahamas that were rescheduled and rerouted and went up to Canada and New England. But these ships are up to date. They're watching, they're getting the weather reports, they're providing weather reports, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure these ships are as safe and the passengers are as safe as possible.
Oh, if you're on a ship right now, should you be worried about bringing more extra jam? I mean, these ships are so big. They can take some big waves like that. But you're talking 15, maybe 20 footers out there. Is that really going to affect the ship that bad?
No, because a lot of these ships I've been on ships in 40, 50 foot waves. It's not most of these people are not going to be experiencing. I remember going by Hurricane Isabella as it came north. We went south into the Caribbean, and believe it or not, we didn't feel anything. They're going to be scheduling and routing these ships away from the worst of the weather. So it's good news. I'd rather be on a ship than be at sea, be at land during these storms. They're paying attention. They're rerouting. They're adjusting. And that's the beauty of being on a ship and having the technology aboard and ashore where they can ensure that everybody is safe, and they're going to try and find as much sunshine as they can.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. Stuart, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon and giving us some updates, because you always worry about the cruise ships, but like you say, it sounds like they got it under control. It's a cruise guy, everybody.
And if you're sailing and coming up, make sure you're looking at the cruise line's websites for the latest details about arrivals and departures.
Yeah, and you can see them posted on their, I guess, on their websites, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's good stuff. All right, thank you very much, Stuart. We appreciate you joining us. And again, when more hurricanes out there, you got to like to bend your ear one more time. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah.
A little bit rough out there. Very windy. We're on deck 1. So I'm pretty sure this is out my window. You can hear the wind blowing. And it's rocking a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's going to get worse.
It's June 1st, so that means it's officially hurricane season. So if you've got a cruise coming up anytime soon, let me send you off with a little info. And shout out to Rachel for asking about hurricane season. So hurricane season typically starts on June 1st and ends on November 30th, but peak hurricane season is between August and October, where you're most likely to run into a storm. So your cruise lines can see the storms way ahead of time. So in that case, say for example, you are going to a port and they are expecting a hurricane or a really bad storm, they will pivot, meaning they will completely go around that port, change the port, delay the port. Now, I know that can get a bit irritating because a lot of us do book our cruises according to where we want to go. However, depending on the safety conditions, they may change it up on you at the last minute. Another thing to expect that you kind of can't avoid sometimes is choppy seas, meaning that motion of the ocean, meaning that ship rocking might get a little crazy. If you haven't already, check out Carnival Cruise Tip Part 18 where I talk about the best places on the ship if you're trying to avoid that motion of the ocean. But yeah, I've seen the ship rocking get so bad that they will put out barf bags to the public just in case you need them. So I think during hurricane season, it's even more important to take your motion sickness items with you just in case you need them. Like, even if you're not sure, take them anyway. I do have an area in my Amazon storefront under motion sickness remedies just in case you want to take a look. But yeah, during this time, do not go unprepared. While we're still on the topic of rough seas, sometimes when you're going to port and you're actually in port now, for example, Nassau, Bahamas. I've been to Nassau, Bahamas so many times during hurricane season, and each time I always go to Cabbage Beach, which is the beach that's located by Atlantis. And I swear every single time I have went, the seas were so rough that nobody can get in the water. You have a ton of lifeguards walking up and down the beach, advising people, blowing whistles, telling you to get out the water. And honestly, the waves are so bad you wouldn't want to play with it anyway. Still a great beach, still a great time, but don't expect to get into the water when it's looking like that. So I'm telling you all of this not to scare you, but to prepare you. I don't want you to think that every single cruise is going to be amazing and you're not going to run into any hiccups. I'm just letting you know what may or may not occur.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, shit.
Oh, it's... oh, my God. It almost... Oh, my gosh. Look how low it is now compared to what it just was.
I don't know about this lower deck life.
Update. The cruise just sailing off. Man down. Y'all, when I say motion sickness is real, I didn't think I was going to be a victim of it. But we're cruising out of Florida and the freaking waves and rain are so ridiculous right now. Like, when I say I feel every freaking motion of this boat, my heart rate won't go below 100 right now. I just took me some meclizine. Hopefully that helps, but y'all, like, I didn't, like, and the crazy thing is, I was feeling fine. I think my body just panicked on its own, like, it went into fight or flight or something. Oh no, I just had caught my hair. Y'all, I'm going through it. Oh, I got a nap. I need a nap. I'm going to sleep.
Help! Help!
Hurricane season hasn't even started yet and already we've got some issues. This video is from the Carnival Sunshine on Memorial Day weekend as it went from the Bahamas to the South Carolina coast. Now you may be thinking, wait a minute, there actually wasn't a hurricane, and well, you'd be right, and in fact that's going to be the main point that I'm going to hammer home in this video. As you can see on this map, the National Hurricane Center had issued an advisory for potential tropical development off of the Carolina coast. Although this disturbance was actually never given a name, it did end up coming to fruition and there was sufficient warning for it. But here is the key point to remember for this upcoming hurricane season. Tropical systems are given a name solely based on whether it hits a certain wind speed threshold. While strong winds are obviously problematic, it says nothing else about the other hazards you could deal with in tropical systems, such as flooding rains, storm surge, high waves, and even tornadoes. This video right here is proof that even unnamed storms can pose major safety concerns for those in the affected areas. What's interesting is that a couple days before this happened, there was a tweet showing collaboration between the National Hurricane Center and Carnival Cruise Lines. Clearly, there is a direct line of communication between meteorologists and Carnival Cruise Lines. They weren't going in blind, so to me, there's just no excuse for putting passengers in harm's way like that. Thankfully, the ship is now back up and running again, but unfortunately dampened the experience of those who were on board during this storm. Let this be a warning to anybody in hurricane-prone areas, and especially anyone who has to manage other people's safety, to not downplay storms just because they appear to be weak or far away from your